Hi, welcome to another edition of 100% LCFC TV. We're still smiling because obviously Leicester beat Man U 5-3. We can keep talking about that, can't we?
I've forgotten about that.
Should we talk about that or should we move on to Palace? I think we best move on to Palace.
Let's just talk about that for another 10 minutes.
We could talk for days about Man United, but on Saturday we've got to get everybody back down to earth because we've got
with a bump.
Crystal Palace away.
Heading to darkest South London for the afternoon.
It's a big trip, a long trip. Takes hours to drive through London if you do it that way.
Yeah, it does.
So,
and hours if you go around the M25 as well, quite often.
Not the easiest ground to get to.
No.
But we know many Leicester fans will be there, but many of you will be watching from home and tweeting and commenting on Facebook and keeping in touch with everything Leicester City that way. So,
and with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
With us. Back to ground.
Keep watching our videos.
Palace away is one of those that we thought the first 5 games was going to be super tough, and to be fair, we thought we might come out with a couple of points, but here we are sat in 7th position with 8 points, which is great. But for me, Crystal Palace is where we start to need to pick up a point or 3, and it's not going to be as easy as people now think, just because we've done really well against some of the
after the Lord Mayor's show a little bit.
So what do you think?
I think it's a potential banana skin. I think they had a great victory up at Goodison Park.
Fantastic. I mean,
weekend.
Neil Warnock.
Big surprise for me that they're doing as well as they have since Warnock went there.
Well, Neil Warnock's one of Leicester fans' most favourite managers. He's never managed Leicester. Everybody loves him.
Everyone loves him.
There'll be lots of cheering for him.
No one's got a bad word to say about Mr. Warnock.
But again, he seems
Colin something or other, as people tend to call him at times.
He seems to have come in and got Palace sort of moving again, and that was fantastic. I mean, we thought we'd done well at drawing with Everton. So to go up to Goodison and win 3-2.
Yeah, they're up and down Everton, aren't they? Because they've had some bad results and some decent ones. They don't seem to have found their feet yet. But I mean, I'm surprised that. I mean, it was obviously a shock when Pulis walked out at Palace. So just on the eve of the season starting, having a falling out with the owner there and what have you. And in walks Warnock. It was quite obviously not the first choice for them. They were after 2 or 3 other people, and for whatever reason that didn't happen. So they ended up with Warnock. And by his own admission, he knew he wasn't the first choice, but he seems to have gone in there and got him going. So
he always does a job wherever he goes, doesn't he?
He's not got the best record in the Premier League managerially, but he certainly at the moment seems to have him going. And for me, the worry now is that the euphoria of the Man United game maybe takes us into a game which is not glamorous. It's not in a nice ground. It's not against a glamorous opposition, and you end up giving a half-hearted performance and getting caught out.
It is about that level of performance, isn't it? If we can keep it up there, anywhere near the Man U games and the Arsenal games,
exactly.
You know, but if we go and turn in a performance as Stoke away, where it's not pretty, you know,
no, exactly.
It's hard earned though.
Exactly, and I think we showed last season that we've got the ability to play good football, and we've also got the ability to play ugly and roll with the punches a bit and get points as well. I mean, there was certainly in the last away game with Stoke, they had more than enough chances to put us away, and they didn't take them, and we managed to roll with that and then take our chance when we got it. And Ajoa took the actual finish itself was top class. So we've got that now, and we've got Ajoa 5 games, 5 goals.
Second top scorer in the Premier League.
Second top scorer in the Premier League.
A bargain for £8 million instead of £59 million.
And he's probably doubled in value already.
Yes.
I would imagine on the back
and probably
of that.
paid for himself. I would say every point in the Premier League I would say is worth about £1 million. Maybe a little bit more. So his 5 goals, which have helped 8 points, probably already paid for himself. So Pearson's already rubbing his hands together.
Being an honest City fan, we've got a bonus point against Arsenal.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, we're looking at it, we could have won it.
Could have won it.
But before the game,
we'd have took a point.
It's a bonus game. You don't expect to get much from Arsenal. You don't expect to get much from Man United.
Not much.
We've got 4 points from those 2 games.
Yeah.
So what we can't afford to do now is let that great opportunity slip against the likes of Palace
and then Burnley.
Yeah. And West Brom and these games that we can actually.
I've heard somebody say, "Oh, the next 6-7 games are easy." I think that's a fool's comment. If you ask me, because I think every game you've got to take just as seriously, and then we'll do well. There's no
givens in the Premier League. No. I mean, and these other sides that think they're going to be in and around where we are come the end of the season, they're going to be looking at us as a win opportunity as much as we are them. So,
well, we all know Leicester City. We know we can beat Man United at home. We know we could lose to Burnley at home if we didn't put a shift in. So,
but I think one thing we should say when we're talking like that is we've probably got one of the most down to earth and pragmatic managers in the league.
And he won't let them.
No, exactly, and he won't let them start spraying champagne around. And
although I did see them all at Leicester races, or some of them were at Leicester races on Monday, the day after the Man U game. So who would blame them though for a glass of something?
Let them have a little quiet evening out of the races, but I'm sure it was very much back down to business, and very much back feet on the ground and preparing with the right attitude for what will be a tough game at the weekend down in London.
Palace away, who are you going to predict to score first and a final score if you can?
I'm going to predict that we're going to win. I think we're going to win again. I don't think Nigel will let them get ahead of themselves. I think we're going to end up winning. I think it'll be a narrow victory, so I'm going to say we'll win 1-0. And I'm going to say that Vardy's going to score this time. I think he's the way he
took his goal so coolly against Man U, didn't he?
I mean, if he plays, because he did hobble off a bit after the Man United game. I think from what I read afterwards, it was only cramp, so it wasn't anything too serious. Probably a little bit of the fact that he's not played much this season, and he'd given so much in that game that he was just a little bit heavy-legged. But let's hope he plays, and I really fancy it. I mean, the way he played, I mean, he was unplayable at times on Sunday, so I fancy him for a goal.
I'd take a draw. If you gave me a draw now, I'd take a draw. I mean, I'm hoping for a win. I'm going to predict a win as ever for Leicester. I'm going to go for a Joa and 1-0.
A Joa again?
1-0. Why not? He's on fire, isn't he? He looks like he scored a variety of goals as well.
Yes.
They've not been the easiest ones. They've not been the most glamorous goals either, but they've, a great bullet header against Man U, a penalty. That one where he left his leg in against Stoke was probably cleverer than it looked, I think.
Fantastic. It was behind him.
It was right behind him.
And he managed to hook it in somehow.
But it's not going to win goal of the month or anything, but I think it was a clever goal.
And as important as all the others, even though, it wasn't pretty. I mean, he got us 3 points.
Hey, can hit his arse going for me. That's fine. Anyway, from 100% LCFC TV, from Simon, from myself, good luck at Palace and cheer the Blues on.
Let's get a win. Let's get another win. Come on, let's keep it rolling.
See you next time.